Hello fight fans, thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting off, Kamaru Usman is adamant he can still be the best in the world despite 3-fight UFC losing skid. Moving on, Leon Edwards explains why there is extra motivation to whoop Belal Muhammad at UFC 304. Next, Francis Ngannou announces PFL debut against Renan Ferreira is expected for October 19th in Saudi Arabia. Moving on, Conor McGregor informs beggar Michael Chandler that he's fully healed ahead of UFC return. Lastly, Conor McGregor reacts as Khabib Nurmagomedov's luxury assets are seized. Former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman is transfixed on returning to his previous pound-for-pound great form. Usman hasn't fought since a middleweight loss to Khamzat Chimaev by majority decision at UFC 294. He's lost 3 consecutive fights, including a head kick knockout defeat to Leon Edwards to relinquish the welterweight title at UFC 278. Despite his recent setbacks, Usman's confidence hasn't wavered when it comes to his fighting career. In the defeat to Khamzat, he showed elements of the form that led to him being considered as one of the best fighters in the world. As he plots his UFC comeback, Usman is ready to prove he deserves to be in the pound-for-pound king conversation in this new chapter. In a recent episode of the Pound-for-Pound podcast, Usman explained the motivations behind his anticipated UFC return. Here is what he said. "I still got tread left in these tires, and I'm still gonna show that I am one of the best, if not the best in the world. When the title fight happens, it's gonna happen, but I don't really care. Whether it's with Leon Edwards, I've already beat him. I've obviously shown I can beat Leon. Whether it's Leon or Belal Muhammad, it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of guys in that division right now that are exciting. Jack Della Maddalena, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Michael Venom Page, Ian Gary, Gilbert Burns is still there. When I'm off sabbatical and I'm ready to come back, I'm gonna come back and I'ma do my thing." Usman will keep a close eye on the UFC welterweight title fight this weekend between Edwards and Belal Muhammad. Edwards versus Muhammad 2 headlines an intriguing card at UFC 304 on Saturday. Usman has the hunger that he had as he rose to the top of the UFC welterweight division. Time will tell if it'll translate to more UFC success in his anticipated return. UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards says he wants to whoop Belal Muhammad while defending his belt at UFC 304. Edwards is set to defend his belt for the 3rd time as he takes on Muhammad in the main event of UFC 304 in Manchester, England. It's an intriguing matchup as it serves as a rematch of their 2021 fight, which ended in a no contest due to an accidental eye poke. Since the first fight, Belal Muhammad has been calling out Leon Edwards, and he will finally get the fight. But entering the rematch, Edwards says all the complaining Muhammad has done has just motivated him to shut him up and whoop him. Here's what he said. "I've never lost a fight amateur or pro in the UK. To be headlining Manchester, opponent Belal Muhammad, this guy's been saying my name for a long time. It gives me extra motivation to go out there and whoop him. I believe I'm better wherever the fight goes, just my mentality and the way I understand the game, and my IQ within mixed martial arts, I feel like I'm miles ahead of him. It will be shown on fight night. Come fight night in Manchester, he has a lot to answer for, and I'm going to go out there and finish him." It's clear Leon Edwards is not a fan of Belal Muhammad, and he plans to show that he would have won the first fight before the eye poke. He also wants to silence Muhammad and prove he is not on his level. Edwards is coming off a decision win over Colby Covington back in December to defend his belt for the 2nd time. Francis Ngannou versus Renan Ferreira will finally be going down in the PFL cage later this year. Francis hasn't been seen since his 2nd-round knockout loss to Anthony Joshua in February. The defeat was a devastating one for Francis Ngannou. Just a few months after nearly upsetting Tyson Fury in the boxing ring, he was utterly dominated by Anthony Joshua. However, what the loss did guarantee was his return to the world of MMA. Francis Ngannou hasn't been seen in the cage since a unanimous decision victory over Cyril Gane in January 2022. A year following that win, he left the UFC in favor of the PFL. Since then, Don Davis has largely been supportive of Ngannou's boxing ambitions. However, he also revealed earlier this year that the former champion will likely face Renan Ferreira in the fall. Speaking to the media, Francis Ngannou opened up on his MMA return. In the discussion, Francis confirmed his intentions to still compete in the PFL and that Renan Ferreira would be his first opponent. Ngannou also revealed that the bout would likely take place on October 19th in Saudi Arabia. Here is what he said. "It's working pretty good. We have a good relationship. Perhaps I will be fighting by the end of the year. I think Renan Ferreira is the guy I will fight next. He's dangerous. I think that fight will be in Saudi Arabia. That's what the PFL is working on. It will likely take place in October. They're working on October, it's not finalized yet, but they were talking about October 19th as the date. What do you make of this PFL fight news? Who do you have winning this heavyweight scrap? Francis Ngannou or Renan Ferreira? Former two-weight UFC champion Conor McGregor is seemingly healthy and ready to fight Michael Chandler. McGregor and Chandler were set to meet in the main event of UFC 303 last month. For Conor McGregor, the bout would snap a nearly 3-year layoff and would be his first since breaking his leg in 2021. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler hasn't competed since a submission loss to Dustin in late 2022. However, the welterweight contest didn't happen. Over 2 weeks out from fight day, Conor McGregor withdrew from the bout due to a broken toe. While there were discussions for Michael Chandler to face short-notice replacement Max Holloway, he too was pulled from the card. In its place was a light heavyweight title rematch between Alex Pereira and Yuri Prohaska. Over a month removed from their UFC 303 fight cancellation, it seems that Conor McGregor is ready to go. Earlier this week, Michael Chandler taunted McGregor on a video of the Irishman asking him how his foot was doing. In response, McGregor stated that he was fully healed. However, the post on X was later deleted by the former champion. While Conor McGregor might be healthy, it remains to be seen if he'll compete this year. Conor has been adamant about competing as soon as August, but that idea was shot down by Dana White. Meanwhile, Michael Chandler has called for the chance to headline the hyped Las Vegas Sphere show against McGregor in September. However, it instead seems that the two will collide in December. Based on several reports about Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, the welterweight bout will likely land in Las Vegas at the end of the year. However, that too is far from official at this stage. Regardless, the Irishman's post is a good sign that he's taking his comeback seriously. Since suffering his broken toe, Conor McGregor has been busy working to promote Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Conor held his first press conference as a part owner last week and took aim at everyone from Jake Paul to Ilya. Former UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov is embroiled in a legal battle with the Russian government over allegations of unpaid taxes amounting to $3.4 million. The 35-year-old fighter, who retired from the sport in 2020, has been ordered by the court to face enforcement proceedings totaling approximately $900,000. Conor McGregor took the opportunity to take a dig at his longtime rival once again. The news of Khabib's financial woes has sparked reactions across social media. One fan shared a video on X of Conor McGregor, Khabib's longtime rival, piloting his yacht, seemingly reveling in Khabib's misfortune by retweeting the post. As part of these proceedings, Russian law enforcement is set to search and seize Khabib's assets up to the value of $900,000, which will then be sold to recover some of the owed amount. According to the report, among the assets already confiscated are a Ferrari California T valued at $300,000, a Mercedes-Benz AMG GTS worth $161,000, a Mercedes-Benz S-Class priced at $122,000, a BMW 7 Series costing $101,000, a Toyota Land Cruiser estimated at $85,000, and a Toyota Tacoma valued at $44,000. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.